Hello and welcome back to the Bricks Up. So, due to a bit of a delay in getting hold of the Mandalorian Forge set, I thought I'd do another Mandalorian theme build, this time as a modded version of the new Mandalorian Starfighter set, which I've heard of a few people like talking about. There's been a few videos like, comparing this one and the original, and a few of the issues like, like the gap between the cockpit, some of the wings like not looking too great, and obviously the lack of landing gear. So I thought I wanted to tackle those big three issues with this sort of set. So as you can see here, this is what I've got so far. What I'm going to be showing off at the moment. So the first major change, I'll probably, since I've been talking about the wings, is this here. In the original, if we go to it, this is the original version. You can see that the bottom of the wings are flat. And while this might be accurate to some Mandalorian starfighters, the general sort of most of the designs, especially one that shows up in the Mandalorian, which actually this one's based on, despite being a Clone Wars set, and the one that we've seen before in 2012, all have like a little bit of a ridge, a slightly slanted bit going down here. Another advantage here is now the ship sits a bit higher up, so you have plenty of room more for now the landing gear, and you can get in and out, and it's just it's got a bit more of an imposing sort of stance, and it's taller. Another thing about this this change I've made is that now there's a smaller gap between the engines, and there used to be two studs here. If I go to the comparison here, you can see that while the height hasn't changed too much, you don't have this large, like, kind of like, it's, I always think that this is something that not many people have noticed really, that there's this, you've got like this tile that's kind of just in the way. So I basically just did that and pushed it in one, and I think it works a little bit better, and it should be stable on the build if you build it physically. Another thing, as you can see here, a pretty major change I made was the landing gear. There isn't any landing gear really in the original, apart from, well, some like, little stacked bits going down. So I wanted to try and make something that could still be folded out. So this is where this comes in. This can be completely folded back into itself. So just bringing these. If I align all of these at 0, you can see all of this like fits quite neatly in, and when it's on its side, when it's in flight mode, you can see it just fits neatly in here. So it won't collide, it won't have any problems, and also it means that you still have like the shape of the ship without having to worry about like the landing gear. If you really want to remove it when it's in flight, maybe, but I genuinely don't think it makes that much difference. But it is so easy to remove, so you're welcome to try that as well. So now here comes the most difficult part. It's the cockpit gap. I genuinely think the designer, the person who made this original set, did the best they could do with this. And it took me trying to make this modification to realise that was really the best they could do. The main thing about this ship is it requires 2 pilots, so they need to have like room for the arms, and they need to have room for like, for 2 to sit down. So my solution here is that you have to remove the jetpack, but you can now have these parts that are you now put these in here, and you lift this up by just 2, just some here. So I'll show this in more detail in the tutorial, but this is the main change you really need to make here. And what this will mean is you will have to push the 2 figures backwards a little bit, but they both will fit. I've had a few people try it out with their models. The thing is that you will have to remove the jetpacks if you want to have more like maneuverability. I think it's still possible to do it without removing the jetpacks, but unfortunately this is just a compromise that has to be made. If I was to fix the gap completely and not worry about the jetpacks, have everything all put in here, I'd have to basically remove this entire section here and put a big wedge plate going down here, a bit like on the original. If anyone's seen the original, you'll be able to see that this whole part in the original is squashed in one, so it's only 4 studs wide, and then some side panels had to be put on. And just as a final change, you can see that I removed the stud shooters here. I don't really think I'll be putting this in this tutorial because it's not really worth it, but I just thought it would be better to replace it with one of these and a few of these just to make it like a nice, better shape. So yeah, I've provided a parts list and the instructions at the end of this video, so make sure to stick around for those if you need any help, or if you just want to try building these yourself. I feel like sometimes modifications like this are a little bit self-explanatory and don't really need that much explaining, but I'm going to do it anyway. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. Next video will be Mothra. I've had a few people asking me about that. I do understand that it's like, I probably did promise it quite a while ago, but I gotta make a balance between, you know, people into Star Wars, people into Godzilla and stuff like that. I can't just do loads of Godzilla videos, because then like, what's everybody else thinking? So yeah, apologies if I've been a little bit like delayed on a few of those videos. But yeah, hopefully this should catch me up a little bit more, and hopefully I'll see you all again with that, and hopefully when I have my Mandalorian Forge video ready, I'll be able to do that too.